Rise and shine, another day, another life. Rise and shine for a lifetime. Sunday school. So, a couple of days ago, I met a young lady. We ended up exchanging numbers. You know, we talking, and the word God came up. And it came up, I don't remember exactly how it came up, but I mentioned that we are our own Savior. And she said, how can you say that? You don't believe in God. I was like, I do believe in God. I say that because we have to make choices on our own. I can't stand in the street in a car coming and say, God, stop the car. He don't see me coming. He don't see me. I see him, but he don't see me. He's going to hit me. Stop the car, God. Or whoever God you choose. You know, my belief is God not going to stop that car. You have to get your ass out the street. I'm just going to be real. And I said, yeah, I believe in a higher power. You know, and that higher power lives in me. Me and God is one. And that's what I told her. And she had a problem with that. She actually hung up on me. And I'm like, wow. She had to be at least 40. And my thing is, be open-minded. She didn't even want to hear what I had to say after that. You know, and I just wanted to kind of like enlighten her a little bit. Maybe she can enlighten me a little bit. You know, we grown, we should be able to have a conversation. And she just shut down and hung up on me like I'm the crazy guy. You know, and it's really because, you know, she's like Jesus, Lord and Savior, strong, you know. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, that don't make me a good person just because I say I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. So you would have had the door open. You would have left the door open if I would have been on her page. If I would have said I accept Jesus Christ, I could have been manipulating her, and I could have brought havoc to her life, because her guards would have came down. Her guards were up. That's why she hung up on me. She didn't want nothing else to do with me because I didn't believe in Jesus. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, well, damn, you know, why do people shut down? Why we can't be open-minded? When you're not open-minded, you limit yourself from growing. And I used to be closed-minded, you know, fixed, but to each his own. However, I don't care who you worship, because it boils down to your actions. Who are you? How do you treat people? How do you treat people in your life? You know, do you throw trash all out the window when you're driving and eating in the car? What are your actions? You could say you believe in the moon. You could say you believe in a rat, for all I care. If you're a good person, that's what matters. Now, if I start talking talk about I believe in Jesus, I'm God-fearing, and playing that role, and I want to manipulate you, it's easy if you caught up on titles and charming words, kind words, all this talk that soothes the ears because it sounds good. But in the reality, it's like the gangsters. They wore suits back in the day. They had machine guns. They were businessmen, but they were killers, hoodlums in suits. Why did they wear the suits? Well, they was businessmen. But when we see a suit, somebody dressed in a suit, it drops our defense, our guard down a little bit. They got on a suit and tie and some dress shoes. They about business. You can't just go off that. You know, you have to take your time and know what you're dealing with. You know, we so quick to worship, idol worship, star worship, the falling stars, the celebrities. Oh, there go Jay-Z. Oh, there go Beyonce. Ah! You know what I mean? Like, do you know who they really are? This is not hating, but just because somebody is charming or they look like they have power or they have power don't make them a good person. You don't bring anybody into your house. You know, you got to get to know a person. They have to earn your trust. You know, see what they're about. Take your time. Because, you know, if I was a wolf, all I got to do is put on the suit. For some people, throw on the suit, smell good, get me a nice watch, and talk that talk. And talk that talk. And the person would just, their guards would be dropped down. And that's not good. This information today is coming out more and more on social media and YouTube and all these platforms. And it's revealing a lot of stuff for we can see what's really going on. In the 90s, we didn't have this. We didn't have this in the 70s and the 80s, all this technology and all this information. So you can quickly do some research. For instance, God. The Bible wasn't written in English. The Bible was written in Hebrew. The Old Testament. The definition of God changed. The word God changed. It was Elohim. And it meant more than one God with an S. Meaning more than one. Let us make man. Who do you think they talking about? Do you believe you know who they talking about? Do you know who they talking about in the Bible? So, God, they say God words don't change. But they did. However, the bottom line is, I don't care if you're a good person. That's what matters the most. I'm not going to go, oh, you the president of the company. And you make a lot of money, so you good. Come on in. No. You know? We idol worship. We get excited with these appear to be special people. And they're just like me and you. The real stars, we don't, they tell us leave alone the real stars, which is the planets, the moon, the stars, and we got our birthdays, and we celebrating these holidays on these dates we use in the calendar. All that's astrology and numerology. But we don't study that. We don't get excited towards that. So if I'm gonna follow a star, I'm gonna worship a star, I'm gonna worship a real star. Not no celebrity that's getting paid to pretty much sell our people out, you know, because a lot of them is doing that. So in my eyes, you know, be open-minded. Take your time out here. You know, people bent out of shape because the old president and his wife, ex-wife, I don't know if they still married, but he made a statement in an interview that, hey, you know, boys need gay men in their life. People were bent out of shape on that. And my thing is, it wasn't no surprise to me, you know. He just like anybody else. But because he was charming and he had the skin color, you thought he was the bomb.com. And he might have been for some. But at the end of the day, people is like pissed about that. But it is what it is. It had to come out. You could see what you're dealing with. And if you can't see, it's okay. You know, there's more to come. More to come. Because this is the time that we're living in. Things have to be revealed for you can have a choice to know and accept or not what's really on the surface. For you can make better decisions and who to follow and who to learn from out here. Because it is people that put stuff in books to mislead people on purpose. So you just can't read one book and think this is it. It was books before biblical books. You had people carving in stone before a book was even thought about. Now, we might not want to go through the time and deal with it, but it is here. And sometimes you got to sacrifice a little bit of time, take some time from something else, and apply it to something that you can get clarity on. Because everything in a book it is not true. You know, who is the author? Is he misleading me? Because it is a purpose for misleading people. You know, so be open-minded, slow down, calm down, and breathe and take it easy out here. Because only the strong gonna survive in this lifetime. Peace.